Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ninja Gaiden 2. Joining me today is Skyzo for the easiest act in the game. How are you, buddy?
Hello everyone, and I'm doing well.
Yeah, if you'll notice that I'm just running through the enemies, it's because this act is... one, it's relatively short, it's full of weak enemies, and there aren't much in the way of bottomless platforms, and plus, there's a hidden health pickup right around here. You kind of have to fish for it, but there we go. Get that, get the scroll, and then just jump right around here to just boost through everything. And from there, you can just use the art of the fire wheel if you even want to bother. It's a pretty refreshing change of pace.
Yeah, well, this act doesn't I think it was a previous act that was like a lot more difficult. Like this is nothing like that. Well, so far at least. We'll see.
Yeah. Anyway, I normally try not to approach stages that way, as I think it's more helpful to not memorize things, but this one is so short, I think it's an exception. Now I wonder what ominous location that is.
I have no idea. And we just defeated the what I thought was the main villain, so perhaps he'll come back to life some way.
What the? Who's that guy?
Oh jeez.
Do you have any clue who that might be?
Not really. Yeah, it looks like the villain is back from the dead.
Do you recognize him?
Not really.
Well, anyways, there's a full health pickup and an invincible fire wheel right in arm's reach, so basically you can just charge right on through.
God, this stage looks so beautiful though.
And here's the boss. Make sure you get to the right side of the screen, and make sure the left one goes all the way right, and just knock him off the screen like that. And just slash the real one until he dies.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Yeah, the thing is, if you had hit the real one with the invincible fire wheel, it would have disappeared. It's the decoy that just gets knocked around like it's nothing. It's actually pretty funny if you experiment with it a little bit, but yeah, other than that, like, the stage hazard in this one is supposed to be that the game designers just threw a bunch of stuff in front of the front layer so you can't see very well, but still not very hard.
Yeah, I mean, we deal with so much worse that this, like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Also, it's a shame that this stage right here is so short because it's so beautiful.
Indeed. Has great music, too.
Yeah, it also has a very good aesthetic. I like it.
You can see the enemies at any rate. Anyways, here's the quick kill. What you want to do is you wait until those demon guys flash 4 times. That's when they're vulnerable.
Okay, fair enough. Also, I'm not entirely sure on this, so... okay, so an act ends with a boss, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was just, like, a whole... pretty much one stage worth of it, like... yeah, like, it was just a short chapter.
Maybe that's the point, though, because we beat up who we thought was the main villain. So it's like a breather round?
Maybe, but that was like a single level's worth of length.
Well, at any rate, Irene got kidnapped again.
It never gets old, I'm sure.
Uh-oh. Looks like there's a bunch of guys off screen.
Very smart of the developers to reuse assets like this. Like if you'll notice, some of the stills, like our main character, are reused very often. I like that.
Also, do you have any more ideas of who the villain might be? Because that boss was one of the same bosses as the last game. From Act 4, the pair of dogs.
Well, like it's either the main villain and he's being resurrected, or it's somebody from the last game that's coming back somehow.
Who would the person from the last game be?
I forget his name, but I think he had like these weird eyes.
The Jakio, you mean?
Yeah.
No one ever gets past old Jungle Rat Bob.
Jungle Rat Bob.
Anyways, here's the last stage. This one's a return to form, although it's still relatively free of the nonsense from the last few stages. The color palettes still bleed a little bit together, but it's not as bad as Acts 4 and 5.
Yeah, well, you have to give them credit though, because the color palette for these games is very limited.
That's true. But then again, Ninja Gaiden 1 had the exact same limitations, and yet I could see everything fine there, so... And... you want to get the downward fire here? There's gonna be some hawks rising from the bottom that you gotta be prepared for. Like that. So careful. Got him!
It was a nice shot.
Thank ya. To be fair, it's a lot easier when you've got two ninja friends firing as well.
I would say that it still doesn't take away from the impressiveness of it. Also, yeah, I'm noticing that there's like no stage hazard on this one.
Yeah, this one's entirely free from it. It's why it's one of my favorites in the game. Just no gimmicks at all, just the fundamentals.
Well, to me, the stage hazard on this is the moving background that's very distracting, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. Also, as you're passing through, there's this really hard to reach platform, but you want to get onto it, because that's your only invincible fire wheel for a while, and trust me, you don't want to go through the rest of this stage without the fire wheel. Like that hawk, you gotta be watch for the hawk, and then you gotta be prepared for the fire statue too.
The hawk is still one of the more threatening enemies in this game, as it's tradition.
Yep. Doesn't do 3 ticks of damage, but still.
Yeah, well, I would say that, like, the real challenge is, like, they move erratically.
Yeah. And, of course, the bottomless chasms.
Yeah.
There we are. I gotta say, it's nice having 100 Ninpo.
It is, it's pretty high.
Oh. Watch out for the guy sneaking up next to you. Oh, still got me.
I have no idea what this stage is supposed to be though, like the location of it.
It's kind of like a bunch of rock spires with a green waterfall. I got nothing.
I have no idea. Also, notice how quickly the background is moving on that.
It is kind of spazzing out, isn't it?
I have no idea what's causing that.
How's Jungle Rat Rob doing?
Okay, looks like that doesn't look like blood to me. Looks like a vein.
Yeah, it was the same in the Japanese version too. I guess his blood's just purple. I don't know.
Or like it looks like he had like some juice. Yeah, he couldn't take it very well.
Yeah. Also, this is the last time we see him. He just sort of drops out of the game's final act.
Do we see him in the credits?
I don't think you do. In fact, you don't see him again until... well, the third game in the Xbox series, which is a prequel, or the OVA, if you count that, although I'm not sure if that's canon or not.
So that seems to imply that he just died.
So it would seem. The OVA is actually set after this game, so according to that, he survived, but we don't know if that's canon or not.
So you're saying that this game has an anime?
It does. It's a movie, but yeah, it's where I've been getting some of the stills from.
That's pretty cool. Have you watched it?
I did. I
How
thought
good
it was
was
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it gave Robert some much-needed characterization. It's the only place that actually says what his motivation is. So, it turns out, so basically he's a jaded former military guy that saw what Ryu was doing, saw him beat up the Jakio, and he's like, wow, now there's a guy that's fighting for what he believes in. Enough of this corporate American nonsense. And he, like, quits and becomes a private detective. And just wants to fight Ryu whenever Ryu's in action, basically. So, in a way, he's kind of a secret admirer, despite his cool attitude.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh, careful, careful. You're gonna want to keep that invincible fire wheel, because the one that I paused on is the last one you get for the rest of the game, and the invincible fire wheel is actually really useful for clearing the final bosses without any damage.
Right.
Yeah, I tried to clip through that wall a bit, but the enemies were just too stubborn.
It's a very strange location, this one.
Yeah, it's like you're in the insides of some monster or something, huh?
Does the game like ever explain what this place is?
I think... so basically, Ashtar opened up the gates to chaos when he stabbed Irene with that dark sword of chaos, so... I think we're in some sort of eldritch location of darkness or something where demons crawl out of.
So essentially it's just hell, but...
That's the impression I get. Don't quote me on that, though. Anyways, we're almost at the end. Look at all those enemies.
That looked very frightening.
There's one last health pickup. And further on is the final bosses, which I'm going to save for the last video. There's not quite as much to explain in regards to them as there was in the previous game, but the credits are really long, and I'm worried it would push the video over a half hour if I included them now, so... For now, we're gonna end with the speedrun section, and then we're gonna point out some weird oddities that are entertaining, I think. And then next time will be the end of the game.
Sure, and does this game have a New Game Plus like the last one?
Nope.
That's a shame.
I think that's Castlevania you're thinking of, because the last one didn't have one either.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm confusing the two.
Yeah, we actually recorded Castlevania before Ninja Gaiden 2, but then the guys in the thread were disappointed I wasn't doing number 2 and 3, which I was gonna do, but later, so I just decided, why not finish off the series? It's not like they're very long.
Yeah, I wonder what your thoughts on the third game are.
It's my favorite, actually.
It's gonna make for an interesting series, then.
Yeah. I think there were some folks that didn't like it as much, because it had limited continues amongst other things, but I think it's still the easiest one despite that, and there's just a lot of other neat things. Anyways, let's show something off. Now, if you beat the first final boss, but lose to either the second or the third one, there's something interesting that happens. Something that you can get that might be a bug, but I think it's sort of a booby prize for people that are having trouble. And notice that I'm sort of damage boosting onto that platform. Makes that section a lot easier.
Right, let's see.
Almost there. Once again, grab that invincible fire wheel if you didn't get it from 7-1-1. And hey, another ninja scroll! That is not there unless you die to either the second or third final boss. See, the game boots you all the way back to the start of 7-2 if you die even once. But they give you a ninja scroll as a consolation prize. And if you get one after the second boss, kill the final boss but then lose to the third one, it gives you a second bonus scroll, so you can get up to 120 max Nenpo. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this doesn't seem like a bug to me, because, like, it would be too convenient, but I'm not saying it can't happen, but...
I think it's intentional, but I don't know for sure. Also, I'm gonna kill myself a few times, and I want you to see if you notice the strange thing that happens. Listen very carefully. Do you notice anything, Skyzo?
Sounded like a sound effect.
Alright, I'll explain it. The song changes.
Really? It changes?
Yeah, it changed like 4 times there.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, like, this final stage does not have a consistent track. It just selects randomly between one of the 4 previous ones that played. I have never seen that in a game before. Aside from Croc Legend of the Gobos for the PS1, but that's it.
Sounds like a bug to me.
That's what I'm thinking, but like, how does that happen?
Well, I imagine that they ran out of memory, so they just... Like, maybe they did it intentionally, but... Like, there's no way this track... You know, there's no way, like, they did this... Well, I don't know, really. It could be anything.
That's why I say that it feels like this game wasn't as play-tested as the others. Between the color palette problems and this and some of the other things, I don't know, it just doesn't have the polish that I think 1 and 3 have.
Well, I mean, there was only so much that they could, you know, cram into a cartridge back then, so I can understand some things.
Anyways, that's the end of the episode. Join us next time for when we take on the final bosses and watch the ending. This is Fiona Day Quester signing out. Have a nice day and God bless you.
Okay, I'll see you later, YouTube.
Bye.